What's up, YouTube? Just wanted to do a video on my love and passion right now in life, and that is my record collection. As you can see, this is only a very small bit of it, and I'll take y'all around and show y'all what all I got right now and what all I'm doing. But I just wanted to kind of do an introduction with how all this kind of got started. I've had a real passion and love for music for a very long time. Ever since I was a young child, all I really did was listen to music. But one thing that I never was able to do was play music. In elementary school, I played the cello, played the recorder, played the drums when I was younger, and when I was in college, I took some piano classes, but I never really mastered anything or really followed through with anything. I just really didn't have, I guess at a younger age, that drive to want to play. I didn't understand the importance behind being able to play music, and I wish I really would have stuck with it, but unfortunately I never did. So for a long time I had a real emptiness in my life, and I really didn't know how to express my passion and love for music. My cousin, however, both of my cousins, really talented, gifted young men. One of them graduated from Shenandoah University with a major in jazz guitar. Really good guitar player. And the thing is, he taught me a lot about jazz, started introducing me to a lot of different various artists, such as Miles Davis, John Coltrane, people like that I never even heard of until a couple years ago. When I grew up, I didn't have a lot of white friends growing up. I was really raised with black families that were in my area. I mean, they were my moms and dads and brothers and sisters, and they accepted me just as like their son or brother or sister. And I grew up listening to a lot of black music, a lot of rap, a lot of hip hop, some soul here and there, a little bit, like Marvin Gaye, Luther Vandross, stuff like that I knew of. But my thing was rap and hip hop. Not really hip hop so much, but it was there. But I listened to a lot of rap. West Coast, gangster rap, East Coast. Then I started getting into breakdancing and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, I really always have just loved music. I mean, country, everything. But like I said, I really couldn't express myself with the music. So like I said, my cousin was telling me a lot about all these different artists. I got a lot of music from him, put it on my computer, and I used to just download masses and masses of music just all the time, anything and everything. So I started listening to some of this jazz, and Miles Davis just really like hit me like right here, like hard, like I couldn't get away from it. Like I was listening to the Kinda Blue album, and I do a lot of research online, so I was searching for different jazz albums that I should know or hear, or what's the best, or this or that, and Kinda Blue was recommended always. So I went ahead and I picked up one of the CDs at the Barnes & Noble by my job, started listening to it, and I was just blown away. I was just like, man. My mom played the trumpet when she was coming up, and she played the clarinet also, but I just could never play music. But I just loved this Miles Davis dude, and talked to my cousin about it. He told me about this book. It's called Miles. It's a book that he sat down with the author and just talked and told stories, and he told me to read that book, so I picked it up and I started reading it, and I started hearing about all these other names, you know, and all the people that he used to play with back in the day, and I started listening to their music, and I was getting into it. the thing is with me, like, I don't try to remember everything. I don't try to, like, hold everything in. I just take it for what it is. You know what I mean? So if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. I don't need to know the artist and when it came out and who's playing the bass and this and that. It's just like, that's a dope track. Like, that sounds really good to me. If it pleases my ear, I'll listen to it. So I started getting into it. Then my cousin, after he came home from college, my uncle's real old school, got a lot of old school stereo equipment from back in the 70s, and he listened to records all the time. I mean, Grateful Dead, you know, man, I'm blanking right now, like a whole bunch of just old rock albums. Jimi Hendrix, a lot of that old stuff, you know, and like I would go over to his house and he'd be in the basement jamming, and it'd just be like, I just couldn't get down with it. I was so like modern with technology and CDs and, you know, digital downloads and MP3s and iPods and the iPhone, which I'm recording this on. But I mean, this is a dope phone, don't get me wrong, but the thing is, it kind of took away things, and people talk about this, so I'm not going to ramble about that. The difference between digital and analog and all that. It's not what this is about, really. But so I started kind of going down there with my uncle, and it was just kind of dope. Like, he would tell me like how to position the records and, you know, what to do, and like so they won't get warped, and he would talk to me and stuff, but I just didn't get with it. But when my cousin came back from college, he got with my uncle, and my uncle gave him a turntable, and I actually sold. I was into recording and all that stuff. I had some friends that we were doing some rap stuff and everything, and I sold my cousin my monitors, my studio monitors and stuff, and he just had like this thing going. Like, he would go like with his friends, and they would go pick up vinyl, and I was just like, man, that's just weird as shit. Like, what is it? You know what I mean? And then my supervisor at work is an audiophile. Like, he's real big into music, like big time. I mean, he's got B&W speakers, $1,000 speakers. You know what I mean? A couple grand in speakers, and his cables cost hundreds of dollars, and his amp and preamp and his stand alone was like $1,000. You know what I mean? Just to put the stereo equipment on. And he just talked to me about music and started introducing me to other things. And he's real big into jazz. And I started watching documentaries on jazz and the blues and where music kind of came from and started, how hip-hop started. And the more and more I listened, I was like, man, that sounds familiar. Like, I've heard that before. You know what I mean? So I just got deeper and deeper into it. And then one day, a couple months ago this year, today is May the 14th. It was, let's see, when was that? It was early February, the beginning of this year, 2012. I was riding the train home from work, reading the paper. I was flipping through it, and I saw this thing on Gibson guitars, like there was some museum or something. I thought about my cousin, because I was going to tell him about it so he could go to it. And then I was looking through it a little bit more, and I saw this thing on records. And it was called Record, what was it? I got the thing right here. It's, damn. They don't say what it was. It was a record fair, basically. It was a record fair in D.C., where I work at. And it was at the Riot Act Comedy Theater in downtown D.C. And it was a record fair where you can come in and buy records. I've never been to nothing like this. I never purchased a record, nothing. But let me tell y'all something real quick, because I left this out. When I was about 15, I really wanted to DJ like bad as shit. Like, I wanted to be a DJ and scratch and do all that stuff. I actually drove up to New York with a friend. Went to down on Canal Street and picked me up 2 turntables, a mixer, and everything I needed. And I had about half a crate full of records. And I came home, and I would play with them every once in a while, and I had some videos to kind of teach me. But like I said, I really didn't get into that. You know what I mean? I really wasn't gifted to play an instrument. And DJing is playing an instrument, basically. But I just couldn't get the mixing down. It was just too much for me. It just like took the enjoyment out of listening to the music for me. So I just want to put that out there. So I have had records before, but I sold all that stuff, got rid of it, and like years went by. And now I'm 27, so about 10 years or more went by since I've had a record or anything. And when I first had them, I really didn't understand it. I was a kid. And the thing is, my parents were never big on music. My mom, she played in high school, but she doesn't listen to music. She doesn't listen to the radio. She doesn't put CDs in and listen to them. My dad, I really don't know my dad. My stepdad didn't listen to music, wasn't big into music. So nobody that I've been around has been into music rather than friends or people like that. Like immediate, like kind of family. Besides my cousins and stuff like that. But it is what it is. So I saw this record fair that was in D.C. and I was just like, man. I was like, that would be tight, you know what I mean? Spend some time with my cousin. Maybe I'll go pick up a record or something, you know what I mean? Because I was thinking about putting a high-end audio system together, and everybody that I was reading and seeing and watching was saying that, you know, vinyl records and the way that they sound, like, doesn't compare to anything else. CDs, tapes, 8 tracks, anything. I mean, vinyl is, like, the most purest, like, sounding of music, you know? So I was like, damn, I want to get a nice-ass turntable and just listen, you know what I mean? Put it on and just let it play. You know what I mean? Not scratching and mixing and doing all the... Like, I just want to put the record on and just enjoy it with some high-quality sounding equipment. So that was what I was set out to do. So the thing is, I called my cousin and I was like, look, man, I was like, there's this record fair in D.C. I was like, you want to go? And it was a couple weeks away. It was a week or two away. And, you know, we worked it all out to where we could both go. So we met up. And we went up there. We walk in. And we're early. Mind you, we're early. Because I was like, man, we got to get there early. Because we got to get, like, some good stuff. You know what I mean? So we get up there early. Like, before anybody else is supposed to be there, because the place doesn't open until like 10 and we get there at like 9:30. We're walking up, people's already in there, like everywhere. It was crazy. Like there was so many fucking people there. It was like nuts, and I was just overwhelmed. I mean, there was like hundreds of vendors and like I don't know how many thousands of records. It was just crazy. And I was just blown away, and I'm just looking, and this was after watching all these videos and reading about Miles Davis and all this stuff. So I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to get. You know what I mean? So walking around, and I see this vendor. He's from Richmond, and he had a lot of soul music. And soul music was really where I was at. And at this time, I was listening to Pandora a lot. I got Pandora 1, so I don't have no commercials or anything. And I was just listening to stuff. And I came across this cat, Donny Hathaway. That's who we're actually listening to right now. This is the album that we're listening to. I actually purchased this online because I was unable to find it. But anyways, and there's this song. It's on side 2. It's I Love You More Than You'll Ever Know. And when I heard that song come on Pandora, like I was all about Donny Hathaway for a long time, and I got introduced to a lot of other artists like Donny Hathaway. So I started listening to a lot of Pandora. So when I went to this record fair, I kind of knew what I wanted to get, and I was talking to my cousin. I'm like, man, what should I be looking for? You know what I mean? Because I wanted to get some nice stuff. I picked up about 7 records. 3 of them were Donny Hathaway records, I believe. I got a couple other things I really can't remember, even though this was back in February. But I got a Slave record by the dude, because the dude told me about this band called Slave. He was like, man, this joint is hot, man. He was like, you need to get this. He was like, this is real funky. You know what I mean? I wasn't really into the whole funk thing. I was really into more soul. But he was like, man, you need to check this out. So I picked that up. It was only a couple bucks. I got some Earth, Wind & Fire. I got a couple other records. I passed up a lot of good stuff that now I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I should have listened to this dude, man. Because he was really turning me on to some good stuff. But it's like, me, I don't trust nobody. So it's like I was just like going with what I knew. And, that, I mean, you live and you learn, so it is what it is. But that day that I went to that record fair, it was February the 12th. That's when I bought